Director for the City of Jackson, and I'm also the Executive Director of the Jackson Downtown Development Authority.
3 hats.
It's a mouthful.
And for a guy who doesn't wear hats, it's a lot to wear.
Yeah. Just think of the different beaks that you could. You could
Right.
get 1 hat with 3 beaks. Which direction? So I thought, since Bill is in Menominee, Michigan, although he might be in Marinette, Marinette, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Wisconsin. They border each other
Yeah.
apparently.
That's a good football rivalry.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think he's in Michigan though, because it's a lawsuit.
Then
and
he
he's-
would be in Menominee.
Yeah. I think he stayed in Marionette though.
Probably did, because
I'm not
there's not
sure.
many good rooms in Menominee.
There's a river.
What I hear.
There's a river that goes through there, and wherever he stayed was supposed to have a view of the river, and he called and
I
said,
think it's called a tent.
he called and said the view was across the street. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that means the river was in Michigan or the river's in Wisconsin. A river runs through it though.
I think it's both.
There you go. Anyhow, so let's do some city updates.
Yeah, well,
What's the biggest thing happening in the city?
it's all big. It's all worth talking about because they're all great things that are driving us forward.
That's right, okay.
Well, I think when people come downtown, one of the first things they'll see is the Blackman Park project. Obviously, if you're coming down West Michigan Avenue and you look to your left at that point where the Consumers Energy headquarters used to be, you'll see that Blackman Park is expanding onto that site. And last week, the contractors poured the middle section of the park, which is a great seating area.
It's gonna be an events park, right? That's how Pat describes it,
Okay.
our city manager.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's what parks are for. Parks are meant to enjoy, they're meant to experience and have events in. And that center section is about the size of a basketball court, so it's rather large. And it will accommodate, I think we've got 10 or 12 tables with umbrellas up there. And it's meant to be enjoyed, for people to grab their lunch at one of our fantastic downtown restaurants. Take it up there, have lunch, talk with each other. Enjoy downtown Jackson.
Have a conversation. And I think, I could rent that in the future and if I weren't married, get married there and.
Other people, yes, you know. You're not allowed to rent. No, but like any other park, it's available for use. You just have to follow the special event application process, and you can find the special event application on the DDA's website at jacksondda.org. But I mean, the park is fantastic because it helps blend the old part of Blackman Park with the new part of Blackman Park, and so many of the old trees are staying there. And one of the most interesting things about Blackman Park is it has a historical marker, not really a historical marker, but a survey marker from the 1700s, where
I would call that historical.
well, I said interesting, and
Okay.
and so some people don't really find that interesting, but that helps set the boundaries for many of the townships in Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. All the municipal borders are set from that point, which is really interesting to me.
Who's paying for the park?
Who's paying for the park? The park is being paid for by federal funds, Community Development Block Grant funds. So it's the federal, the redistribution of federal tax dollars back to the state of Michigan and the city of Jackson.
That's nice. Take
Yeah, put a little-
advantage of it. They haven't blocked off the street, which is a good thing, to do the construction.
No, most of the work is happening in the park. However, in the downtown setting, we have a lot of underground utilities, like on the other project we can talk about in a bit, the Dig Jackson project. But Consumers Energy will have to dig up part of the street to install a new vault near the park and electric service along Hayes Court right by the Hayes Hotel. Hopefully
To install a new vault?
a new vault, yeah. They're not just wires running willy-nilly underneath the ground.
Oh, okay.
The manholes you see when you're driving on the streets or walking on the streets, they usually open up into a room that they call a vault.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes they can be
Because
very
I know
large.
under some of our buildings downtown, there's
Vaults.
basements and vaults that go under the sidewalk, actually.
There are quite a few of them.
Right.
But the Blackman Park project's moving along. We're targeting the end of October for completion. Work has really picked up here in the last 2 weeks or so. We poured a lot of concrete and the electrical work is happening, and after that irrigation will start to be installed and the rest of the concrete, new trees, shrubs, plants, flowers will be planted. And fall's a great time to do that sort of work because the plants start to go dormant. That way they're not too much of a shock to their system. So
And we have a maintenance plan in place for next year when it all gets green?
yes, the maintenance plan includes taking care of it all.
Well, hence putting the sprinkler system in. That
Hence-
will help
Yes.
tremendously.
Yep, we thought ahead.
That's a good
We're
thing.
thinkers.
And even with the dig downtown, so let's jump over there, we're thinking ahead and doing some proactive
Yeah.
watering things
Yeah,
also.
for those of you who don't know, the Dig Downtown Jackson project is a utility reconstruction project on Michigan Avenue between Francis Street and Blackstone Street in downtown Jackson. And when you think about it, it's a hill. It goes down. The Blackstone is the top of the hill, and Francis is the bottom of the hill. And when you do these sorts of projects, you start at the bottom of the hill. So right now, crews are working on the block between Mechanic Street and Francis Street on Michigan Avenue. And what just happened in the last week was water testing of the new water lines that were installed. Once the water testing is done, the lateral connections to each building will be installed. And so the project so far has been moving along really well. Very pleased with our contractor, Concord Excavating, and just very pleased with how fast things have progressed, and the business owners are understanding of the project. They know that a type of project like this, it's necessary because what we have underneath the ground is not very exciting to that many people. But it's 120-year-old water and sewer lines, and gas and electric lines that are also old and aging. And so, in order to make sure we can live the next 120 years and grow and really make downtown as vibrant as it can be, this project is necessary at this time.
So don't own a business in 120 years downtown, because we'll have to do it all over again?
I would say that's the exact opposite thing I would tell people.
Actually, it'll
business
probably
now.
last longer because the construction standards have improved so
Well, yeah.
much.
I mean, what was the line from the Dustin Hoffman movie where he graduates
He's
college?
asking me this question, Jackie.
Well,
Jackie's
I'm sure Greg knows.
What is it, Greg?
Plastics?
Plastics.
Yeah.
Yeah. That lasts forever.
Oh, okay, all right. And then what happens when they're done digging and the snow falls? What's that
So
street gonna look like?
So, because this project we knew was going to be disruptive to everyone downtown, we knew we had to get it done as quickly as possible. And so the first phase of the project we pushed to start right now in 2014, and we'll end the project in November 2015. And to the extent that we can, we wanted to work through the winter. However, we know that in the darkest, deepest throes of winter, especially if we have a winter like last winter, that's not going to be possible. So on the block between Francis and Mechanic, we'll have a stone street in the winter, and our contractor is aware that they'll be back to regrade it and keep it passable for our customers, our businesses, and our visitors to downtown. And then we'll pick up work again probably February, March, like I said, depending on how things go, depending on who you believe about this year's winter.
Yeah, what's it gonna be, Greg?
Where's the crystal ball? Can you
What's the winner?
help us out?
Rough winter.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Farmer's Almanac.
and they're never wrong.
No, never.
So we'll pick up work if all things go well, February, on the block between Mechanic Street and Jackson Street, doing the same process. We're installing new water lines, new sewer lines. Consumers Energy is installing new electrical conduit and redoing some gas line in there as well. And as we thought about the project, and like you set me up before, thinking ahead and planning for things, we know that our fiber optic capabilities in downtown Jackson are limited, so we'll be installing conduit for fiber optic lines. So if a new company moves into downtown Jackson and they need that technology, whoever they hire as a contractor to install it will have their conduit banks already in place, be able to deliver the highest and best technology in downtown Jackson.
Cool. And then when it's all said and done, it'll be absolutely gorgeous.
When it's all said and done, it'll be absolutely gorgeous. And of course, we do have a plan to maintain it. You don't make this sort of investment anywhere, especially in downtown, and don't have a plan for making sure we keep it up as best as we can, making it look nice, making it attractive. This is all about setting downtown Jackson up for future growth. I think we're seeing some fantastic growth right now. We seem to be taking off on the dining and entertainment realm of things. And we hope that continues. We hope other industries and other types of businesses see downtown Jackson as a place to start and grow. Obviously, we'd like to add some retail, but that's...
Well, we just had a big restaurant close down there. Is there other people coming in, or
Are there other people coming in?
what,
We get phone calls every day, and all
Okay.
of them are too premature to talk about, and not my business to talk about, because it's their investment and they're usually their brainchild. And
it's my business to ask, though.
I know.
Well, in talking about new business, there is a couple of new projects being built right now. There's the new Speedway on the corner of Wisner and
Well, I was talking
Hanson.
about downtown.
No, I know, but
Okay.
the city of Jackson is the city of Jackson.
Yeah.
You can't always focus on downtown.
No.
And then you
I
have
agree.
Northwest Avenue where the old Kentucky Fried Chicken was.
Mhm.
A couple of major projects.
Plus, it wouldn't make sense for Laura to keep talking about what we were talking about. It's time to move on. Yes.
Right,
The,
you
the
know.
Speedway is a fantastic project. We've been working with the folks from Speedway for a long time, and I would just say as a company who, I mean, they work. I don't know what Speedway's reach. I know they're in the Midwest region. I think also in Florida. But as a company with that sort of reach, they're fantastic to work with. They came right in. They knew they had all the questions they needed answers to. They had an aggressive timeline, and I'd like to think that the city of Jackson matched their ambitions. And when you look at that Speedway, how nice it looks with the brick piers going up to their awning, and the way the building looks, I think it's it's something that it's a gas station. It's one of those things everybody needs, but we took the approach that we'd like this to be an asset to the neighborhood and be something that creates a sense of pride and helps create a sense of increased investment into our community. And the same thing with MedExpress. MedExpress is the urgent care company who bought the old KFC at the corner of Monroe and West, and just fantastic to work with. They got what we were trying to do here. They have a really aggressive timeline to open. And
When
I
are they
think
going to open? That's my word. I need to know.
I don't think he said he
You
had a
can
hand in it.
Find out and tell me.
I hesitate to put the date on that one because
Okay.
construction has just started.
Right.
Um,
So early next year, maybe.
I don't think it'll be that long.
Okay.
But having that sort of resource in Jackson, I think, is a great thing.
And I don't think there's anything up that way.
Nope.
It's medical, quite
Right,
frankly.
right across from the Walgreens pharmacy.
Right. But I mean, as far as even doctors' offices, maybe I could be wrong.
It could be.
I was wrong once before. Just don't tell Bill.
Secret safe with me
Uh-huh.
and everyone listening.
Right. So the design standards, are you having pushback with the design standards that the city has?
When we work with, sometimes it's just a little, for our people who have been working with us for a long time and who haven't seen our ordinances change in years or generations, we have to remind them that they have changed, and here's
It's
a
a
new
little more
copy.
challenging.
I wouldn't say challenging. It just means that they need to change, and the old way of doing things, the old expectations are different. And what we're trying to do now is hold everyone to a higher standard. And our folks from Speedway and our folks from MedExpress and our folks who built the new KFC and even the Target renovations, they've been great to work with. They see what we're trying to do. They know that when it comes to your business, your first and as a radio station, I'm sorry to say this, you guys live off advertising, but as a business, your first dollar in advertising needs to be spent on the way you present yourself and
Your
the
front
way
door.
you look. And people are getting it. And I think you can point to those projects and say, yeah, it's working. I mean,
Well, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, for years I've heard West Avenue looks horrible because it's the fast food corridor. And then when you put in standards, you try to change how things look, and you can only do it when people are changing, right?
Yeah,
You're
I
not
mean-
going to make somebody who's already in existence tear out their parking lot and redo it because we have new standards.
yeah, I'm everyone is sensitive to that, but when someone says it's fast food corridor, it's not as if we can go around saying this business will go here, that type of business will go there. That's something that's left up to the market. What we can do as a city is say, we have standards that we'd like everyone to come up to and everyone to use, so that no matter what business you are, you look as attractive as possible and you're as inviting as possible. And what that does is instills community pride. And so You know, it's kind of like a keeping up with the Joneses type of thing. If someone else is investing, someone else is taking the time to make what they have look great, you know, that will bleed out and start to move to their neighbors across the street, neighbors next to them, and then all of a sudden we're all coming up and we're all talking about what we can do to make ourselves be more attractive and look better and be more welcoming to, you know, not just the people who live here on a daily basis, but the people who come here visiting.
Well, let's jump back to the Speedway area for a quick second. I have a business I was working with, showing them properties because they felt that the city didn't enforce standards and they didn't want to invest any more money, but because they saw the Speedway being put in at a certain standard and enforcement started on some other properties, they are probably going to end up staying within the community, which is a good thing because then they'll improve their property. But there's a great example of a business who wants to stay but wasn't sure they wanted to stay because of the environs around it.
Yeah, and that's a great thing to point out. When you see the other guy doing the right thing, all of a sudden you want to do the right thing.
Right.
And what you said about enforcement, you know, that's the unfortunate part of this is that there aren't always people out there who aren't naturally inclined to do the right thing, who need a little nudging, who need a little bit of pointing
Or
in the
they
right
start
direction.
a project and they don't have enough money to finish it or continue, or they take the dollar here, dollar there.
Yeah.
Great, I probably shouldn't point out things.
But we know over time, you know, the way we look and feel will be better, and the way our residents will view themselves and view our city will be better. It just takes time to get to that point, and I think you're really starting to see it now. I think it's emanating from downtown. It's going into every other part of the city. I think it's fantastic because I think Jackson is really something we should all be proud of, and we should all be asking ourselves, what can we do to make Jackson better? What am I doing today that makes myself better? What am I doing today that makes my organization and business better? What am I doing that
We
will
all
make the
need to
community
pitch
better?
in.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
you certainly want to be business friendly and not Big Brother, right?
that's correct. That's why I said the enforcement is one of those things where it's
And I hear that.
It's
I hear that on a business
dance around.
side. I hear it from a landlord side. I hear it, and believe me, then the people at City Hall hear it when I hear it.
Hey, anything on the Hayes building?
No.
Hayes Hotel,
Oh, okay.
nothing new.
nothing to report.
Okay. All right. Did you say we're running out of time?
A couple minutes ago.
Oh. Do you want to? When's the big Christmas parade downtown? I think that's one of the biggest events.
Wow.
Two quick. Give us two.
The Christmas parade is always the Friday before Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is November 27th this year, so that means our Christmas parade, put on by wonderful folks at Consumers, is Friday, November 21st.
And then there's a DDA day or
And then
something.
Discover Downtown again with Santa's larger-than-life mailboxes on Saturday the 22nd.
Okay. And let's see. I have a new listing at 2701 Forest Lake. Great ranch right there in the corner of Horton Road and Forest Lake. 119.9. Move-in ready. Granite counters, new carpet, fresh paint, beautiful deck off the back. 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, just under 1,500 square feet. And then 111 First Street, which is Vandercook Lake Schools. 59.9. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. Just over 1,000 square feet, and come
Call.
buy them.
Call.
Call 780-3800.